Hey peeps, thanks for peeping. There's lots of talk about the open game license and how Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast has salvaged the pooch over there. To be honest, I left D&D proper after 3.5, but not because I'm a cool wit hipster, but because I was struggling to stay alive. Thanks capitalism. But I had all those old books, and when I got to play it, I just played that. But something interesting happened around 2018. I started running into indie type games. Then a friend of mine discovered that itch.io had actual tabletop RPGs for download. And then the social justice bundle happened, and we discovered a sea of indie content. Add to this, I was getting older. Complex games really weren't my cup of tea anymore. I mean, you come home for 6 and 7 days of work, and you're not wanting to try to figure out some rules. And that's when I discovered rules like games. I discovered diceless games. I discovered GMless games. I discovered journaling games. There was this great world of indie goodness with people taking chances. There were plenty of SRDs to download and try. You were even encouraged to hack stuff to simmer your campaigns with other agnostic systems. Don't get me wrong, my nephew runs a 5e game and we enjoy it. I even bought the 3 main books of 5e, mainly because I think this is their last decent one, their last physical books. Sort of a purchase of pity, as you will. A gravestone for a corpse that died the day Wizards of the Coast bought him. But I'm not here to bury D&D. I'm here to raise up 3 other games you might want to check out. Tiny Dungeon 2E. Gallant Knight Games' take on fantasy. Uses a dice pool system of sorts. Roll just 1d6 if you're disadvantaged or if it's something you don't know anything about. Roll a 2d6 if it's just a standard attempt. Or 3d6 if you're doing something you have an advantage with, like some trait you might have. When any of those dice come up a 5 or a 6, you succeed. You have your usual heritages to choose from. The bog standard fantasy type, plus furry-like ones. You know, like 5e got cozy with while I was away. You can even play as a goblin. You should probably play as a goblin to make up for all the ones you've killed. It's not really a class-based system. Instead, you get one trait per your heritage and a decent list to choose more from. That way you can craft your own class. Magic is pretty much you come up with a spell and how you do it, and if you succeed, it works. We went with a house rule that failure caused damage to the caster. I mean, it looks like it would be too simple, but yet it works. We enjoyed our game of it, and I really can't recommend it enough. Then there's Troika. I guess that's how you pronounce it because it's got the exclamation point on the end of it. Miscellanean Arts Council's homage to Fight and Fantasy, those choose your own adventure games in the UK. Combat is simple. You roll a 2d6 and so does your opponent. Each adds their activable skills or bonuses, and the highest one wins. Trying to pull off a skill, you're not really being opposed. You just roll a 2d6 and try to get under your skill number. Then you've got a luck score. You try to roll under it with a 2d6, and if you do, you avoided any kind of consequences that were coming your way. But each time you use it, your luck score goes down and making it harder for you to achieve. Initiative involves this assembling a stack. It's either tokens or cards or pogs, and each player gets 2 tokens they put into the stack, and each monster gets a certain number per their stats. And then you add 1 to represent the end of the round. You pull from this stack and decide who goes next. So heck, you might not even get to go in a round. The game comes with a D66 table of backgrounds or class heritage kind of combo. So gonzo, so vague as to elicit your imagination to fill in the backstory of those backgrounds. If you're looking for something that's not bog standard, then you can look no further than Troika. Wonderhome by Possum Creek Games. There's their diceless TTRPG. It employs playbooks and prompts to quickly create anthropomorphic characters. These characters are on a journey just to find a home. Players just act out what they want to do. They describe things around them. They take turns playing other NPCs or kiths, as the game calls them. Certain things, per its rules, may net you tokens, and which you can use to do other things. The game is just 100% theater of the mind. It rewards the right group of people with a great narrative. It really opened my eyes to what a tabletop RPG could be. And like Troika, it is vague in its setting, and it just adds tidbits throughout its rulebook for your mind to fill in with a grander story. It is made to switch between, you can be cozy and happy with it if you want to, or you can change it up and make it kind of grim and dark and traumatic, as if you're trying to go through something with these characters mentally and try to overcome things. But it is really an amazing piece of work, and it really showed me what a game could be. So right there is three. That's three games that you could try out. There's so many things available out there, and I'm definitely including Mothership or Vaesen. Vaesen's a great game. There's so many things out there to check on. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents on it. Uh, I guess it is. I'm just thinking, well, we could all move on to other things. But thanks for listening.